My third guy plays some games. Alright, hi everybody, Weather Guy here. We are back with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are on case 3 of the second game, which is called The Return of the Great Departed Soul, I believe. And we are now going to be continuing our opening investigation. We still don't know what the actual crime is yet, but we'll find out. Let's go to Ryu's room first, just to see, because we haven't looked at it yet for this case. Maybe there will be something interesting. And then after this, we'll go check out Strongheart's office. Oh, why, what are you doing in here? I'm so excited about the prospect of Ryu's Anything Consultancy opening for business again. Yeah, again, we are not allowed to practice law right now, but that seems like it may change shortly. I'm guessing after our meeting with Strongheart, even though we're meeting for an unrelated thing about Van Zeek's. So that's what it's called. It's Ryu's Legal Consultancy. I've done a lot of studying in these past 6 months, reading law texts and judicial precedents. I'm sure I'm a better lawyer now. Can't wait to start practicing again. That's nice. Nothing's changed in here at all, though, has it? It's as though time has stood still in here since Susie went back to Japan. I wanted to keep it ready for Mrs. Sato in case she was able to return to Britain at any point. So I just left everything the way it was. Oh, I see. Right. And there was me thinking because of the way you are, Bruno. You know, never bothering to tidy up. I mean, that is a wild thing to say. When she rooms with Sholmes. And Sholmes has an incredibly messy shelf that we saw towards the end of last episode. And she is scolding Ryu? No way. Iris, this isn't the time or the place to bring up my tidiness. Or lack of it. Alright. Let's just examine the room. Maybe there's something interesting to see. Kettle's gently simmering away there on the top of the stove, as usual. It was kind of Mrs. Sato to send that Japanese tea. You really like it, don't you, Iris? For me, it's the sound of the stove and burbling kettle I like the most. On biting winter mornings. It feels even cozier in here when the delightful Iris pours a tea for me. I really couldn't manage without that wonderful young girl. Dude, I do this all the time. Where you, I turned over my hourglass. I don't know why I felt like it. But I do this all the time where, especially with my kiddo, where I mime like what she should also be saying, you know, like, thank you, Dad, you're amazing, da 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 da, sort of thing. So I really resonate with this kind of talk, honestly. Oh, Runa, it's so sweet of you to say so. Stop putting words in my mouth, please, Iris. Great. What else can we see? This tray of whatever? Mrs. Sato's tea set that she left here with me. I still think green tea is just too bitter, though. Thank goodness for sugar and milk. Mr. Strom certainly wasn't expecting the accurate taste that one time. Never heard anyone let out a scream like that before, or seen anyone fall down the stairs quite like that either. It always brings a smile to my lips when I'm feeling a little down. Ah, well, do you know what that reminds me of? Today I gave you some black coffee when you weren't expecting it. You fell all the way down the stairs as well, didn't you, Bruno? Yes, do you think we could try to forget that, please, Iris? That doesn't bring a smile to my lips at all. By the way, of course, Iris is dressed that crazily because she wants to go to the big science exhibition thing. This is the spade or shovel. Office spade. Now that Mrs. Sato's gone, the shovelers aren't represented to correct me. Maybe I'll have to do it myself. That's not a spade, Mr. Ryu, it's a shovel. Ah, so you're a spader, are you, Bruno? What, you want to battle it out? Alright, I'm not going to argue with a native English speaker who has some kind of gun. Alright. It's very quiet in here. Now, at first glance, my desk here might look as though it's in a mess. However, it's not in a mess at all. Everything is exactly where I want it to be. But whenever Mrs. Sato looked at it, she'd put her hands on her hips and say, "Oh dear." Her way of saying that I should make it a more orderly and neat mess. I miss that. You sound just like Hurley, you know. He says the same about his mess. It's the kind of logic that transcends international borders, obviously. Alright, what's up here? Nothing particular of note. Odd. I must have misclicked. Photograph of us all together that day. That's adorable. I love that so much. Makes me a little sad to look at now, which is why I'd taken to lying it flat. Mrs. Sholmes writes it every single time, and I've grown accustomed to it. Hope we'll all be together again like that one day soon. Yeah, we want Susato back here. We miss her. You know? It seems like she won't be present at all for this case. But I have a feeling she'll be back for sure by the end of the adventure, right? She must be. It's Miss Susato's desk. I suppose it won't get used now that she's gone back to Japan. I'll just have to wait here patiently for its old friend to return. Even now, I sometimes find myself pouring a cup of tea for Susie by mistake. Ah, that explains why I sometimes find a steaming cup on our desk here. It shocks me every time. It's just one of your pranks, I see. It's no prank. I miss her. That's adorable. Alright, what else we got? Little bench? Or is this the stairs? Oh, it's the aquarium. Look at the prawns and the... Look at the prawns and the... Look at the prawns and the anemones gently swaying around in the tank. Regular cleaning, some food, and fresh seawater is all they need. Some conversation, of course. It seemed like a lot of effort at first, but it was worth it. Starting to be able to tell what they're thinking. Funny to think that so many people in London had aquariums like this once, when they were in vogue. You'd never expect to find sea anemones in the middle of the capital. I think I'll have to name them soon. Oh no, Runa's disappeared. What? I expect he's been eaten by Hurley. Oh, they named the fish after us. That's great. I think I'd prefer if you used your imagination more when naming the sea life. That's cute. The door to Susato's room. Never did see what Miss Susato's room looks like. It must be important in some way. Go on now, of course, but I don't dare. They say a young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets. Susato said that at one point. Although from the laughter I used to hear when you would visit, I imagine it's mainly sweet. Oh, we used to have such fun in Susie's room. She told me all sorts of interesting things about your country, you know. Alright, great. I'd love to see it. What else we have? Ah yes, a Daruma doll I brought with me from Japan. I always intended to color it in the other eye once I become a fully fledged lawyer. It's still winking at me like it's trying to say, I can wait, take as long as you need. Or maybe not. I'll just have to keep on doing the best I can, I suppose. I can color it in for you, Reno. Just that one eye, is it? No, it needs to be done with a bit of ceremony, Iris. It's not just a toy for coloring in, you know. Yeah, so true. Alright, that seems to be it. We're in here. Seems to be. Nothing super of note, but just some solid, you know, reminiscing about Susato mostly. Which is totally fine. Alright. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's check out Strongheart now. Which is more important to the plot. Oh, it's not as actual. I thought that we would be in a different room, but this is where we've been multiple times now. I love all the gears here and the massive clock. It's such a cool image, you know? It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. Some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. I love the investigation part. It's just so chill, you know? There's not really any thinking I have to do, you know? I just enjoy the story unfolding and see where it takes us. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. Time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Oh, is this Strongheart? Yeah. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Ooh. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. Yeah. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway its last. We're extremely busy as a result. Policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind, as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it. Here we go. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened. The thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. I desperately want to have another go. Please permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Ryu. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. Should have been Kazuma. He is so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I had to fulfill this calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? This is very true. We don't know exactly why Kazuma came. Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Renaud. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think? Instantaneous kinesis as in moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil may care. Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Asman, an investor and a well-known figure in society. Large explosion. A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. I love that. I love the name Harebrain. That's great. What's the name of the victim again? Let me double check that, because that made me that's a joke too. Where's his name? Where's it at? Odie Asman. Harebrain, though, that's pretty good. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. He's going to be our defendant on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. Great exhibition. Scientific experiment gone wrong. And murder? I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still, we should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think? Definitely. Yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zeeks. How? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly. The future of policing. Okay. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly. It's extremely alarming. Dude, he does the T-pose so many times it's insane. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail every one now. What? Oh, how fascinating. Please don't. It all began 15 years ago. I was... Oh god. Oh no. This guy is a very precise person, isn't he? He's very exacting with the stopwatch stuff as well. Very relatable scene. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right, yes. That's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris is chilling again. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Alright. We didn't really learn much about Van Zeeks. I thought we were going to learn more. The Lord Chief Justice's desk. When you look at that, there's no mistaking Lord Strongheart's authority, is there? But the light from that window beyond is far too bright. It would be very bad for the eyes. I hadn't thought of that. There are no curtains, that's for sure. What's more important? Having a desk with an air of authority or having eyes that work? can't say I'd ever considered it. After all, my little office barely has any light to speak of, and I haven't really seen my desk in a while. Alright. Candlestick. You couldn't read all these books, the books, even if you are reincarnated 3 times over, as a bookworm. Oh, I know, so much reading material. I'm very envious. I've really been running out of things to read recently. That's because you read so fast. Perhaps little by little I could swap some of the books here with some of mine from home. I don't see why not. No one would notice, or at least I wouldn't, even if I was reincarnated 3 times over as a librarian. Right? Coat of arms? Or, you know what I mean. Oh, I just had a great idea. What is it? We can hide inside these suits of armor. That's what I meant, suits of armor, Jesus. And spy on the fob watchmaster to find out what he's really like. I don't have much interest in what Lord Strongheart is really like, though. Oh, please, it would be fun. You could be inside the left one, and I'll go in the right. You really want to have a go in a suit of armor, don't you? Now you're making fun of me because I'm a child, aren't you? I wasn't making fun of you at all. I did like to have a go, too. Yeah, what else? Anything else? Suit of armor over here. Clockwork? The clock? Clock itself? Cogs of the giant clock are keeping time as usual with their steady, rhythmical motion. It's really quite disturbing how little sound they make, considering their massive size. Someone very brilliant must have designed it. Whoever maintains it must be very talented too. I'm not entirely convinced it's even a clock. What? But what about the huge clock face that forms the window over there? Some people just make machines that move for the fun of it, because they enjoy watching them. I like how Hurley makes his rambling deductions just for the fun of it. Even if the outcome isn't quite right. Never mind all the trouble it gets others into along the way. Alright, great. Something over here? Oh, maybe not. I thought it showed something without the check mark, but I guess not. Maybe further to the right? Nope. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything here before we go on to the prison. Seems like we got everything. Anything else to the far left? Nope. Okay. Is there anything else in the court record? No, not really. Nothing else to talk about with? Yeah, let's move on. Okay. To the prison. To visit with Professor Harebrain. Oh boy. The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner, look! What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Harebrain. Seems pretty chill. Who are you? I'm Ryu. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Was this something I said? A lawyer, you say? Wow. That voice. That voice I was doing doesn't match him at all, does it? I have no idea what sort of voice to give this nerd. Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration. That magnificent demonstration was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens, no lawyer believes in the science when it's explained. They all leave at high velocity. Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Alright. Let's talk with him. So you mentioned the demonstration yesterday. Papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. But I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time it was a great success. You lost me. I saw it with my own eyes right there in front of me. Mr. Asman is spontaneously disassembled. Till then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asman in fact perished? Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once. But what? Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Riley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Oh yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That won't pass me by. But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was a murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea by precious hypothesis will be stolen. Yeah. This is very interesting. I brought this up last time. But this also has a bit of a tangential relation to the movie Prestige. Because in that movie, big part of the case revolves around a murder. And they worry that a magician's contraption is involved in the murder, right? And or rather, magic trick was involved in the murder, you know? And the judge and everybody wants to know, you know, hey, how does this trick work, right? And the person who created it says, I can't tell you that. Because if I tell you that, then everybody knows the trick and it becomes worthless, right? So it's a very similar situation here, right? And in the movie, that sort of thing is resolved by he just talks privately with the judge, and then the judge determines whether or not it's actually relevant to the case. The machine must be protected from it at all costs. That's why it's imperative its whole incident is shown to be having an accident in tomorrow's trial. I see now. Gosh, that movie's so good. I want to watch it again soon. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes, or rather no, the devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were just demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it, dare to dream such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. Possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days? What? What is this reference? Oh, I'm so stupid. That's what Ryu did. In the second case of the first game. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world, instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. Well, what are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it. Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless, the science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. That's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman.
Victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? You met him yesterday, wow. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany.
Hang on a second. Oh. I don't know why I thought you said he met him yesterday. I'm stupid.
He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thank my lucky stars.
I see, so you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research? I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
Oh, really?
An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Abnett provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
Alright, so we need to meet this engineer still, I imagine. But then your genes were blown to dust in one enormous explosion?
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life.
Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Gosh, I gave him a stupid voice. Seemingly nothing else here to do. Nothing to present him with. Let me look at this newspaper again. Look at the picture on the back. Yeah, it looks nothing like him, I don't think. That's very interesting. Who is that? Look at this again. I just want to get a closer picture of it. Does it? I thought it zoomed in, yeah. Gosh, I have a fun theory. My theory is that his compatriot is Kazuma back to life. And that's who the Return of the Departed Soul is. Oh, actually, you know who I'm stupid. You know who the Great Departed Soul returning is? It's probably actually the victim in this case. Who actually, this experiment presumably seems to work. But, oh man, I have an idea. No, that's too crazy of an idea, never mind. I'm not even gonna say it because it's terrible. So nothing else to talk to him about, so that means we must have missed something somewhere else. Huh. Nothing else to talk to him about. Which is weird, because we were going to ask him about Van Zeeks, but we never got the opportunity. I think the option was there, and then it changed, maybe. Very odd. Let's move again. Something in Sholmes' suite now? I thought we would get to go to the exhibition today, but it seems like we're going to run out of time before then. Sadly. But likely we'll need to do some investigation there at the actual crime scene, right? Just to see if we notice anything interesting. Seemingly nothing here. Seemingly we are good to go. Okay. Looks like I didn't miss anything here. Maybe we missed something in Ryu's room. If not, I think we have to go back to... Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can try. I can try to present the newspaper to Strongheart. That's what I should do. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. Oh, wrong voice. The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you, it does, strangely. Alright, let's talk about it. Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. So this is interesting. This is interesting because previously Van Zieks was only prosecuting in cases where we were the defendant's attorney, right? What's that called? The lawyer. The other lawyer, right? And this implies, or says rather, that he continued prosecuting cases after we lost our license or whatever, right? So that's intriguing. So this was only a month ago, and it's been 6 months since we've practiced. But the man was acquitted. I have no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. Oh, the Reaper getting his victim, right? But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely. The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman. Mr. Odie Asman. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. So, the victim in the case that we're doing now was the leader of a criminal organization that Van Zieks prosecuted. And interesting. And they think that his mysterious death is the work of Van Zieks. That's interesting. Did you say Asman? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition. Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? He's amazing at it. All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom. Fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is a Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. Doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Interesting. Interesting that addendum there. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late, that's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zieks now? I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Oh, of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. Great. We get to go see what his office is like. I'm excited for this. A new location. For real this time. Oh, it's lovely. Is that a massive picture of him? He's so extra. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office? Yes, it appears so. Brr, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Oh, is that? Ooh, weird. That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Huh. Oh, that's not Van Zeek's over there. That's someone else. Is that his compatriot that was with him when he was attacked? He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. Alright. Let's talk to him. I am really excited for this conversation, honestly, in general. Being here is great. Well, Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmon's criminal organization. I wish the organization was named. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably, some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmon. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asmon died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is a fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Harebrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What? I love the thought of Van Zeeks in college just chilling out, you know? Going to frat parties. I understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though. Harebrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all. So you were students together. I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
And why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
Wonder if he's like forced into prosecuting, right?
What's Lord Van Zeek's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecute, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Ginny, in fact. She's ever so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work.
Well, Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. You're attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh.
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Van Zeeks is actually, you know who he's like? He's like Batman. He's like a combination of Batman and Harvey Dent, right? Before Harvey Dent became Two-Face.
You mean to say?
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
It's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide. Dude, Van Zeeks is so sick.
Or Van Zeeks.
He's such a great, antagonist to the story. I really like him. And that may come to bite me in the butt later if he turns out to actually be totally evil, but he's just such a great force to push against. I do want to check out this person before anything else.
Really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. You think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead.
Oh man, I want to see who it is. If it's someone we know.
Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall there. Cask in the Reaper's chamber. Or are they caskets? You don't think. All those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them. They're dead, do you?
No, the guy loves wine. What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Obviously.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up. Bruno and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. So true. I love his office, it's so sick. Books? Nope. This stuff? Nope. The main table? Yes. That's the exhibition.
Oh look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground.
That's odd.
That's amazing. Wonder why it's here. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person? Perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket.
Surely it's obvious I'm using it as an investigative aid.
Ah.
You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved.
Ah. I really didn't think he'd overhear that.
Interesting. He got that ready very quickly after the murder happened.
That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it?
Oh, he is dashing.
It's a very majestic outfit and pose. Sadly,
her opinion, it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zeek's facial features. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Ah, that reminds me. Our Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain! That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it? That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious, said his father. Oh, then, who is it? Or his brother. Interesting. So, father or brother, probably. Lord Van Zeek's desk, look, it's so stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? And I love chess. Chess is sick. You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? She's probably amazing. You probably like chess problems in that case. I'll have to challenge Lord Van Zeek sometime. To about his shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home. Alright. What else we got? Would y'all be interested in chess on this channel at all? I'm not great by any means, but I enjoy it a lot. I maybe like... I haven't played in a couple years now, but I was like at 1600 on Lead Chess. So I was okay. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. Breaks them way too readily for that. Yeah, you throw them, yeah, exactly, around in court like they're worthless. Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh. Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So, it's my fault? Silly me, how could I ever have thought otherwise? That's funny. Alright, what else do we have? It looks like it might be it for his office. And for him. Nothing with that. Nothing with this stuff, that's that. Coat of arms, that stuff. What about stuff on the table? No. Alright, I think we're done here. Bats, okay. Dude, maybe he is a vampire. Ah, there were bats. Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was a familiar. It's not the flying kind. He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then. He's his student. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. Alright. Now I think that's everything in the office. We'll do one more look over real quick. I think that's about it. Yeah. Great. Good stuff. Cool. And let's double check. Anything to converse with him anymore? That should be it. Yeah. We don't have anything we would want to present to him either. Okay. I don't know where we're even going to move next, but anyway, that doesn't matter because... Okay, anyway. That is all we got today. I was reading what she was saying on the bottom. I was curious I was the same for both of these. Anyway. We're at time for today. Next time we're going to continue our investigation and find out what exactly we're missing to finish it up. And there might be more still. Maybe we need to visit the prison again. I don't know. But that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all are amazing. I'm really enjoying a greater look at Van Zeek's. He's awesome. But yeah, that's it. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of others. And I will see you next time. Peace out.